Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for Fantasy Premier League content for the 2022-23 season. My name is Dan and it is time for the Game Week 4 team selection and transfers video for you today. The video where I'm going to be showing my Game Week scores from last Game Week as well as picking my team from this week, showing what transfers I'm going to make and who I'm going to captain. Now I have already made my transfers for this Game Week, so I would say that this week I'm actually pretty locked in for once, which is a good thing barring any final team news, I suppose. But yeah, hopefully this is going to be a good one. If you do enjoy what you see today, please do leave a like and subscribe if you're new around here. I know for a fact that half of you guys watching this video right now are not subscribed. What are you waiting for? If you want that daily FPL content in your lives, then this is the place to be. There we go, guys. So let's first of all have a look at my Game Week 3 scores. For that, just a quick word from our sponsor today. If you're looking for a sensible pick this game week and then the top selection for web safety and anonymity, this week the video is sponsored by Surfshark, a VPN service that keeps your identity safe online. It's basically like installing a Nick Pope to your PC or mobile phone, but not only this, Surfshark allows you to browse the internet as if you are in a different country. If you don't have access to certain football channels and networks in your country, no problem. Set your location to somewhere else using Surfshark and you can now access it. Maybe you want to watch Match of the Day or Sky Go from on vacation and it's not working, or you're getting that annoying "this content is unavailable in your country" message. You can switch up country to somewhere else. But here is my favorite part. If you've watched everything on Netflix and want to unlock the content on USA Netflix, for example, you can easily do so. You can switch countries faster than you can switch Liverpool defenders out of your FPL team. Protect your identity, be safe online, and access web content from around the world wherever you are, and you can now get 83% off and 3 extra months for free. Just use promo code FPLMate, all one word, to get this offer, or you can simply click the link in my description. It really helps support the channel and you get a great service for a heavily discounted price in return. And if you somehow don't like it, there's also a 30-day money back guarantee, so everybody wins. Alright, so you wanted to see some Game Week 3 scores? Well, here you go, and hopefully this one is going to make you feel a little bit better about your own personal Game Week 3, because I managed just 42 points in what was a really surprising Game Week in so many ways. Who would have thought that, you know, just the defenders just doing so poorly this Game Week? It really was kind of a bit of a surprise, really, wasn't it, to see all of our premium defenders just completely flopping. In fact, Patterson being the highest scoring defender for me, I would have never seen that one coming, but there you go. Sometimes in football and in FPL, we do get those surprises, and I feel like it's the most important thing is to not overreact too much to those surprises. And remember, guys, if everyone has a bad game week, then nobody has a bad game week. And if you're going to choose one game week in the entire season to have a pretty low score, it is definitely this game week. So it's just one of those things. I'm going to have to just take the L. The new rank is gone down significantly, so we're down to 3.7 million. So we're still technically in the top half of players, but we did hope to be a little bit higher than that by this point. But we are going to get these game weeks. There's probably going to be a couple more game weeks like this between now and the end of the season. It's just a bit of a shame that one happened so soon at the beginning of the season. But hopefully we can see an improvement going forward, see some more predictable results, I suppose, and make some transfers that are really going to improve our teams. That's certainly what I'll be doing. 2 transfers already made this game week. So yeah, it was a disappointing game week last week. I'm trying not to panic too much. I still like my team. I still like my players for the most part. Let's see if we can do anything about it going into Game Week 4. Let's have a look at how I will be lining up. Okay, 1 free transfer. I've already told you I'm going to take a -4 this week, or I already have taken a -4 this week. We've got a little bit of money in the bank. But first of all, I just want to show you what I'm working with before the transfers, and then I'll show you how I bring the transfers in to improve this team. So let's start off in goal with Raya, a player I'm pretty confident in still. He's an absolute save point machine. He just makes so many saves, which is kind of exactly what I was looking for in my 4.5 million goalkeeper. I had hoped for a few, like maybe a second clean sheet so far this season, but we've had 1 clean sheet in 3 game weeks from Raya. I don't think that's too bad, and hopefully now the fixtures do look a bit better for Brentford. We are going to see a few more clean sheets, but as long as those save points still keep coming in and the bonus points look good, and Raya is performing really well on the bonus point system kind of table. He hasn't managed to get too many bonus points so far this season, but it looks like bonus points are very much due, particularly if he can keep a clean sheet. He's pretty much guaranteed bonus points at this point, which is really good. So yeah, Raya, was still very confident in him. He would probably be my second favourite goalkeeper to have right now. I would maybe prefer Sanchez if I could have anyone, but Reyes still my second favourite goalkeeper in the whole game right now, so certainly no complaining there. Still a really good pick in my opinion. Moving on into defence, we've got Trent Alexander-Arnold playing for a Liverpool defence that is just not doing too well right now, and a lot of people are thinking about selling Trent. What we'll have to say is just try and stay calm on this one. I just feel like even though Liverpool haven't had the results we kind of hoped for so far, Trent has still been an absolute creative beast so far this season. He's due attacking returns. They are coming soon. He's creating too many chances for him to not get attacking returns. And we've got this fixture, Bournemouth at home, which we would probably say is the easiest fixture Liverpool will play in the entire season. They really, really need a response. They need a reaction, having not won a Premier League game so far. So I think this is going to be the time for Liverpool to turn things around. They have to turn it around. This is the perfect opportunity to start building on what they hoped would be their season. You know, building from last season and kind of turning their season around after 4 games. You know, we're still fairly early. It's never say die, never say never. There's a lot of time to turn things around, and I think this will be the turning point, particularly for Trent. You know, if the clean sheet comes in here, then we're all good, and I would expect a player like Trent, even if he doesn't keep a clean sheet, because he does so well in the attacking kind of, you know, metrics, you can basically treat him like a midfielder as well, and then clean sheet points are just a bonus if he so happens to get them. So yeah, we'll treat him like an attacker for now. It's a fairly expensive midfielder in a way, who does get those nice points for the assists, and maybe is good for a goal as well. So yeah, if we get a clean sheet, that's I guess a bonus. But Bournemouth at home, if there's going to be a point in the season where Liverpool do keep a clean sheet, you would kind of hope it is this game, particularly if Dominic Solanke is not quite ready for this game as well. We're not quite sure. He's a bit touch and go whether he's going to be available for the weekend game for Liverpool. So we have got Trent still, and he's not going anywhere. Now, Robertson is a little bit more of a question, because we do have to kind of consider, do we want to double up on this kind of weak-looking Liverpool defence right now? And the answer is probably no. Given the option, given the luxury, no one right now is picking 2 Liverpool defenders. I just don't think they are. Yes, I do think that Liverpool have a good chance of a clean sheet, and in terms of the bookies' favourites of all of the teams this week, all of the the teams this weekend, who is most likely to keep a clean sheet this weekend? The bookies strongly favour Liverpool as the most likely team to keep a clean sheet. And in FPL, I know we kind of like to think with our hearts a little bit, but when we look at logically and look at the probabilities, and that's kind of what we kind of have to do, look at probabilities, it does still look like a clean sheet is more likely than not for Liverpool. Now, how that's actually going to turn out in real life, we don't know. But like I said, last game week was a freak game week in so many ways that we arguably have to ignore a lot of the things that happened last game week. So yeah, maybe one day double Liverpool defence will be rewarded. I'm not massively confident in it. I think the difference between Trent and Robertson is Trent is actually putting up some really good attacking numbers. Well, Robertson, although I like his positioning, I didn't like his positioning too much in the Manchester United game, but in the previous 2 games, I did really like Robertson's positioning at least, and he was getting those opportunities to score. He could have easily got an assist, as well, which I think is indicative of returns coming, but look, who knows what's going to happen in real life, and I'm certainly not confident about Robertson, although at least he's a differential now, I guess. We've got Cancelo up next, so I'm still backing the Man City defence, even though a lot of people probably are jumping off the Man City defence now that we've seen them concede 3 goals to Newcastle, but we've got to remember that, like, again, a freak occurrence. How often does that happen? It's not going to happen every single game week, is it? So yeah, Cancelo, I still back for those clean sheets, particularly against teams like Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest up next after that as well. So clean sheets are coming. I wouldn't be surprised if Man City did keep a clean sheet against Crystal Palace. You would expect that to happen realistically. And Cancelo's always good for those attacking returns as well. Maybe being a little bit creative, maybe taking the odd shot on it as well. Though again, I have to admit, maybe Cancelo has not been quite worth the money so far. But going back to game week 2, he scored a nice big haul, didn't he? So yeah, back to that, please. No more of these 0 and 1 pointers from our premium defenders, because I've got too many of these players to keep going with them. Speaking of which, we've got one more premium defender in the defensive line, and that is Reece James, who has been playing as a right centre-back, even though it is so obvious to everyone that he should be playing as a right wing-back. Now, a few people are saying that because Koulibaly is obviously suspended for this game against Leicester, that James is going to be playing at centre-back, but I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think Cucurella is actually going to be the player to play at left centre-back, and Chilwell is going to come in at left wing-back. I wonder if maybe Tuchel is kind of understand by this point that Reece James really does need to play in his best position if Chelsea are going to get results, and they do need to get results. It hasn't exactly been the most, promising start for Chelsea, has it? So maybe, just maybe, Reece James is going to move back into that right wing-back position with another player coming in that right centre-back role. And if so, James is going to be an absolute force to be reckoned with again. In terms of clean sheets, am I hopeful? I'm hopeful, of course. But again, Chelsea, another team like Liverpool that have just not shown very much defensive acumen over the first few game weeks. And to be fair, I did kind of call that. I did kind of see that coming. And I was kind of hoping that they would slowly start to improve. That hasn't happened yet. But I mean, I'm not writing off Chelsea's defence for the whole season. I think that would be very, very foolish. And certainly if Reece James can finally play at right wing back, then he's going to get attacking returns. He just is, particularly against a really weak defence like Leicester. So Chelsea fans, let me know what you think. Is Reece James going to finally move to the right wing-back position, or is he doomed to play right centre-back for eternity? I know what you probably want to happen, but what's the realistic thing that's going to happen? Moving on into midfield, we've got Salah, who's playing against Bournemouth. So again, you can say what you like about Salah. You can say that Liverpool's performances have been bad, but Salah continues to get FPL points. 3 returns in 3 games so far, even when he's been playing badly, even when Liverpool have been playing badly. It just kind of says everything you need to know about Mo Salah, really. He just gets returns. He just gets the job done. And that's why he is the greatest FPL asset of all time. And I know I keep saying this, but I truly believe it. So even when he's not playing well, I still think he will get points. And like I said about this fixture, it is the best fixture a team can hope for. Bournemouth is actually one of Salah's favourite fixtures to play. He's never blanked against Bournemouth before, and he's got a fair few big hauls against Bournemouth as well, historically. So a really, really good game, a good fixture for Salah, particularly when he's playing at home. You always got to back Salah when he's playing at home, and this is a very good fixture for something like that to happen. So honestly, I would expect 2 returns from Salah. I think he's probably going to be one of the most important players to own this game week, and I would be, even you can be as critical as Salah as you want, in FPL terms, this is a game where he's going to get you FPL points. Next up, we've got Saka, who continues to be disappointing. It's really, really frustrating. Just because, you spend that extra money going for a Saka rather than Martinelli. And I've clearly made a very big mistake in this one. And I kind of have to own that mistake and just accept that mistake. One thing that I have been kind of saying pre-season and all of last season is if you work out or you find out or you believe that you've made a mistake, don't be too proud. Don't stubbornly stick to your guns. Pride comes before a fall, and that is going to be kind of the the theme of this video a little bit. So Saka was just a mistake, and I can keep saying, okay, maybe next game week will be different. Maybe next game week will be different. But for how long do you keep saying that? For how long do you keep going with that? The fact is that Saka is not playing in the positions we hoped he would be playing in. There's been no penalties to kind of bail us out. And 7.9 million is a lot of money. And for that amount of money, we do need consistent returns from our FPL assets. Not one assist from an own goal from in game week 1. It's kind of not good enough for the money you pay, is it really? So, yeah, no disrespect to Saka. I think just his teammates have just been playing so well. I don't think Saka's been playing badly necessarily, but I think this is an issue that I do need to address. Pascal Gross obviously did quite well last game week. He got the assist, so he got a 6-pointer, which is, if you can get consistent 6-pointers from a 5.7 million midfielder, then that's exactly what you want. That's kind of perfect, really, isn't it? So, yeah, it's a shame he's not on penalties, because I really did think, and a lot of people did think, in fairness, that he would be on penalties, but it seems that to be not the case. So that is a little bit disappointing, and probably would put me off going for Pascal Gross now. But still, I quite like it. He's got a nice game against Leeds up next, and known as a fairly weak defence, typically, aren't they? So Brighton, a team in good form, playing very good football. Pascal Gross still playing in those very dangerous positions, making passes, taking shots on. I'm pretty confident about some more returns from him. So, yeah, Viva La Gross. Let's see how much further he can go in my team. De Silva is up next. He plays against Everton. A decent fixture. Last game was a bit disappointing for De Silva, but it's nice to see that he has had at least 1 price rise. I would have hoped for 2, though, by now, really, but it wasn't to be. But, yeah, good fixture for him. But he's kind of like one of those players who I don't really want to play every game week. I kind of spoke about this before. De Silva is not a player who you can play in any given game week. Everton, I think you can get away with playing him in, but that game against Crystal Palace next game week is worrying me a little bit, as is some of the other future fixtures. So De Silva, yeah, he's in there for now. Let's say that he's in the starting 11 for now. Going up front, we've got Harry Kane, who I am confident in, playing against Nottingham Forest, which is obviously a phenomenal fixture for the young man. I say young man, he's not so young as he once was, is he? But yeah, no, I'm at a point where I actually do genuinely prefer Kane to Haaland. Haaland is looking like a player who is going to get rotated very soon. Pep Guardiola has made some concerning comments which might actually swing in the favour of Kane. So Kane, I feel like, is playing quite well. He's getting goals. He's not necessarily getting as many FPL points as we hoped for, but he's getting returns at least, which people kind of wrote him off and said never scores in August. He's already scored twice in August, so that's a pretty good start from him, I would say. But let's see if he can get any more. Nottingham Forest is a very good fixture indeed, his best fixture of the season so far. This is kind of the point where we kind of have a look at Kane and see, can you get a couple of returns? Can you get a goal and assist? Can you get 2 goals? Can you get 2 assists or 3 assists or something like that? And you definitely back a team like Spurs, who do typically score a lot of goals. I know games like Wolves are difficult games or cagey games, but you know, Spurs are a team that will score a lot of goals, and I think they can score some more goals, and Kane is going to be involved in them, and you never know, a nice little penalty wouldn't go amiss either, would it? And finally, we're going to finish off the team with Gabriel Jesus, up to 8.2 million, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but he's up to 81.6% owned. Like, this is just getting ridiculous. He's basically like not having him. You know, if everyone owns Jesus, no one gets the points from Jesus unless you captain Jesus. He basically just sits in your team and protects you against other people who own Jesus. But he's such a good price and he's playing so well. I know he hasn't scored necessarily as many points as some of you guys may have hoped he would in Game Week 1 and 3. But Game Week 2 showed what he can do. Game Week 1 and 3, on another day, he gets a whole bunch of returns. If you count kind of offside goals and close chances and all that kind of stuff, Jesus could have had a haul in every game week so far. And a game against Fulham at home, yes, Fulham have been capable of scoring a couple of goals so far this season, but I'm not convinced by Fulham's defence. I don't think anyone is. So this home game for Arsenal, I think Arsenal are going to continue their good form. They've been the only team so far, really, that has been consistent and has been kind of trustworthy, whereas a lot of other teams have kind of disappointed in a way. So, yeah, lots more good things for Arsenal, I hope. So, yeah, definitely don't ignore those Arsenal players. Make sure you're stacking your teams with those Arsenal players, indeed. Let's go on to the bench, guys. We've still got Ward on the bench. He's never going to start a game for me. I'm never going to start him. He's there just to be a 4 million bench backup option. Patterson, you know, against Brentford, do I really want to play him? I mean, he was so close to clean sheet points last game week, which was a real shame, but never mind. Brentford, I do think a player like Ivan Toney is probably going to score against Everton, to be fair. So I'm not really confident in a clean sheet there. Andreas against Arsenal maybe could get something, but again, it's Arsenal. I'm not going to play him above some of my other players. And we've got Archer, who is sitting on the bench as well, who is never going absolutely anywhere, ever. So he's going to stay there, I think. Let's make some transfer, guys. And like I said, I think the message for this game week is don't be too proud. Don't, you know, the pride comes before the fall, and be willing to accept your mistakes. And that's exactly what I'm going to be doing this game week. I'm going to be trying to improve my team and kind of not really caring about the comments that will inevitably come in my way that say, oh, I can't believe you've gone back on what you've said before. Guess what, guys? FPL managers change their minds, and adapting to new information and changing with the flow is very much a part of good FPL management, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing today. So we're going to be making a double transfer, taking a -4. We are going to be taking out Saka and De Silva and replacing them with Martinelli and Rodrigo. So a double switch here, a switch which definitely improves my team, in my opinion. I think this looks a lot better now. Suddenly my team goes from a team that looks kind of like there's a couple of holes here to, oh, actually, this team looks really solid, particularly for this game week. So my team suddenly looks very good now that I do this. Yes, I'm taking out Saka and replacing him with Martinelli. It kind of looks like a downgrade, but on the face of it, but I don't know if even as an individual move that is a downgrade. We know Martinelli has been playing better. We know his underlying stats are much better, and we know he's a lot cheaper as a price. So even if Saka did outscore Martinelli just by a little bit, the amount of money I free up, and I did make these transfers earlier on in the week to try and save a little bit of money, I freed up enough money where I can make a huge upgrade in De Silva to Rodrigo. Yes, I know I only brought in De Silva last week, but that was because I wasn't really sure what direction I wanted to take my team in. And now I do know, even though De Silva's only been in my team for a week, I'm happy to remove him. I'm not going to be one of those stubborn people who said, well, he only just came in, so I have to keep him. I don't have to keep him at all. I can remove him immediately. At the end of the day, the mid-price midfielders are performing really well right now, and I didn't really think those cheapish mid-price midfielders would be performing as well as they have been doing, so I want to stock up my team with them. I have to sacrifice one of my bench midfielders, if you like, and I'm not going to sacrifice Andreas because, as I always said, De Silva is a very good 4.5-ish million midfielder, but he's not as good as Andreas. So De Silva is going to have to go. He's going to be the man to be sacrificed. And Rodrigo, the man in form, he's going to be playing striker again this game because Bamford is still not quite ready. It's going to be another good one for him. He's the most informed player in the whole Premier League right now. And even though it's a game against Brighton, I fully back him. We said this about against Chelsea. But sometimes, one of the cardinal rules of FPL is when you're looking at attackers, look at their form before you look at their fixtures. It's like a rule. Look at their form before you look at their fixtures. And with this attacker, Rodrigo, no player is in better form right now. I'm not expecting him to continue at the rate he is, scoring at. Don't get me wrong. But, I mean, even in a kind of tricky-ish fixture against Brighton, I still absolutely back him. So yeah, I think that's 2 transfers that have really improved my team. And I look at this team, I've got a lot of the players that I would be recommended to other people. I think in general my own team has not been amazing, but certainly the advice I've been given on this channel has been good, and it's kind of about time I start taking my own advice, taking a hit, taking the L, and just bringing my team to the team that I'm trying to advise other people. I always say that these team selection videos are not FPL advice, and I really mean that. They're not. This is just how I'm setting up my personal team. I don't really want any of you guys to think that my personal team is the right way to play FPL, but the other videos are more like trying to give a bit of advice. This one is just how I'm happy to be setting up. But I look at this team and I think, yeah, this is close to exactly what I would want. If I was on a wild card, my team would look pretty close to this anyway. So overall, I like it. I think it's a pretty good team. Let's put a captain's armband on Mo Salah because, as I keep saying, it's just like absolutely no-brainer. If you saw the 100 experts video I made yesterday, you'll kind of understand that Salah is just the super popular choice. Very few people are going against the Salah captaincy this week, and for good reason. I'll put the vice captain on Jesus because I do think Jesus could perform quite well, although Kane is definitely an option as well for captaincy. I would say that Salah, Kane and Jesus would probably be the 3 players I'd expect to score the most FPL points this week, but of course it never works out exactly how you predict it, does it? Now guys, I think now we have seen this team, let's have a look and see how it rates on Fantasy Football Hub, because I'm kind of enjoying just seeing the predicted points for my team. And by the way, guys, let me know if you'd like me to continue using the Fantasy Football Hub on my team to get a points prediction for this upcoming game week. I kind of like doing it. I kind of like just kind of seeing, using the algorithm, using the stats, what is predicted of my team. And I predicted 74.5 points this game week, which is pretty good. A game week rating of 94%. It's decent. Salah looks like the right captain. He's predicted 9.3 points against Bournemouth, which is quite significant. Harry Kane, interestingly, is second place in there with 7.4 points, equal with Trent Alexander-Arnold. So yeah, those of you considering selling a Trent, he's actually one of the highest predicted points this game week, so that's quite significant, something to think about indeed before selling him. So yeah, this is my team, that's my bench as well. Yeah, it's predicted to do very well, 94% rated for this game week. Going forward to future game weeks, it looks pretty good as well. The one player that isn't so hot according to the algorithm is actually Rodrigo. He's only predicted 3 points against Brighton. I'm guessing that's because Brighton are rated as quite a difficult defence, to be fair, but I just feel like form, I'm going to back the form of the player above the algorithm predictions and see if I can beat the algorithm in a way with this Rodrigo punt. Let's see how that goes. Remember guys, if you do want to check out this tool, you can check this out for absolutely free. Just click on the link in the description to try it out for free. And if you want the full version to manage your team entirely pretty much using this tool, then you can of course get 30% off your membership using the link below as well. But yeah, go check it out, have a look, see what your team is rated at, and I'll be interested to know what your guys' team ratings for game week 4 is looking like. Can you beat 94%? And that is the end of the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please do leave a like. Please do subscribe, of course, if you're new around here. And I know half of you are new around here, so do make sure you are clicking that subscribe button. We've got one more video this week, which is going to be a wildcard video. I know a lot of you guys have requested a wildcard video in the comments, so I do read these comments. If you've ever got any suggestions or things that you want, please just do let me know, and I will definitely read through it all and consider it and see if I can do something about it. And that's what I'm going to be doing. So wildcard video coming tomorrow, followed by a deadline stream on Saturday, just before the deadline, and then then it will be time for the Game Week 5 content, which is starting only on Tuesday. So do be prepared for that next Game Week 5 Game Week deadline coming up very soon after the Game Week 4 deadline as well. Just want to think about before you go. But there we go, guys. Thank you so much for watching once again, and I will see you later, mates. Bye-bye.